Let's move on to the next story. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. And we are going to take it to the R. Kelly trial, which is now in closing arguments. Is in closing arguments right now in the R. Kelly trial, and let's get to it. So, R. Kelly's case, this case is wrapped. You got the prosecution doing their closing arguments today, right? And the defense will be doing their closing arguments tomorrow. And then what's tomorrow? Tuesday, by Wednesday, the jury will probably have it the latest. So I say by Friday, y'all, the latest, we will know what R. Kelly's fate is in this Chicago child pornography trial. I don't think he's going to be found guilty on all the charges, but they going to stick it to him. I know they're going to stick it to him, man. They're going to stick it to him. But we will see. We will be patient and we will see. Harvey Weinstein been locked up, convicted. He just got his appeal. Harvey Weinstein just got his appeal. So he probably going to get out on the appeal bond after, him doing his 3 years. Freedom Man, damn, he had permission for all the underage girls, and grown women were down for it all too. I don't know if he had permission for all that. So it seems that Jaguar has been right. I don't know what Jaguar said. I thought he got fried already. R. Kelly is found guilty in the state of New York on a federal charge. This in Chicago is a different case from the New York case. 3 years, R. Kelly should get the same 3. R. Kelly been in there for 3 years, but Harvey Weinstein did 3 years after the conviction. So, I think it take like maybe 2 years for your appeal to go through, once you down. So we'll see what happens. Jaguar said something about Sparkle. Oh, okay, I didn't see it. She'll read our previous comments. You'll see what we're talking about. Miracle Joy, you have a point. Wow, all the violence surrounding chicken. Think about the Popeyes chicken fat. What are y'all talking about? Everybody got to read. Wasn't he found guilty at first, so he's being charged twice? Everybody should go to Sparkle and her parents. He was not. He's found guilty in New York on different charges. He's not found guilty in Illinois. These are child pornography charges. The other one was sex trafficking or whatever. So there's also this to deal with in his case.
After 4 weeks of testimony, we heard closing arguments today in the federal case against R. Kelly. The government up first calling the R&B superstar a sexual predator.
This afternoon, we also heard from the defense, including closing arguments from attorneys for Kelly's former business manager and staffer. Our Tara Molina has the latest from the federal courthouse.
Kelly's former business manager was on the stand for 3 days last week. Today, we're hearing closing statements in his defense. That defense drilling into and questioning testimony we heard from 2 witnesses in this trial, witnesses who placed him in situations he denied being a part of. The jury in this case has heard 4 weeks of testimony from more than 30 witnesses and seen 4 weeks of evidence, including clips from 3 sex tapes. Closing arguments detailed charges pending in this child pornography and obstruction of justice case, with 13 against R. Kelly, 4 against former business manager Daryl McDavid, and 1 against former staffer Milton June Brown. We heard the least about Brown throughout the trial, something his defense focused on right off the bat in closings. His defense detailing promises the prosecution made regarding evidence they claimed would show Brown was guilty, but insisted the only thing the government showed throughout the trial was proof Brown was doing his job, the same way many others working for Kelly at that time were doing theirs. Daryl McDavid's lawyers' closing arguments had a theme we've heard throughout this trial: how McDavid only ever acted through the request of the nationally acclaimed lawyers and investigators he hired to be Kelly's team, people who McDavid's defense say never would have risked their careers and reputations to cover up child porn, committing crimes themselves. Those men, entertainment attorney Jerry Margolis, private investigator Jack Palladino, and criminal defense attorney Ed Jensen. All of those men have died. Prosecutors pointed out earlier in the trial, McDavid is the only one alive who can testify to the details and incidents he had. Wrapping up by saying the government promised clear proof and, quote, "They didn't give you what they promised. Use your verdict." In the prosecution's closing today, we told you about at 5, they said all 3 of those men knew about Kelly's behavior and tried to cover it up. We'll hear from his defense first thing tomorrow morning. But until then, you can find more on all of the closing.
So, Jennifer Bonjean tomorrow is up to bat. She got to have some closing arguments to convince this jury that the prosecution did not do its job, find R. Kelly not guilty on these charges, and we are going to see what happens tomorrow. I wouldn't want to be in Illinois, living there at all.